anytime you lose a football game, it's tough. It's tough for people who love Texas football. It's tough for the fans, administration, our faculty, especially when we've had the struggling time since the Nebraska game. It's something that we're unfamiliar with, and it's something that we obviously don't like. As hard as it is for all the other people I mentioned, just think about your coaches and your players. I mean, they die with every loss, and it's very difficult for them, and it's hard to fight back. And as you always know, sports fans and media get negative when you lose. That's fair. So the players have to handle all of that adversity, plus the coaches have to handle that adversity, and they have to turn around and try to win at the same time. At the difficult times, you still have to try to fix your problems. You can't get down. You can't lay around gripe. You can't feel sorry for yourself. You can't point fingers. You have to go back to work, and that's all you can do. And as much as you'd like to do some of the other, it's not productive. Obviously, when you got problems, you got to fix them, and that's what we're all trying to do. You stay upbeat, you stay demanding, and you work as hard as you can to get it fixed. Unlike the NFL, we can't have a waiver wire. So the players that we've got are the ones that we're going to keep working with. We tried to play a lot of the younger ones last week, and some played well, but you still want to win the game, and some didn't play as well as we had hoped. We have 2.5 weeks and 3 games to get some things fixed. All we can do is fight our guts out and try to keep working, understanding that as disappointed as we are, the players aren't going to quit. They didn't quit Saturday night, and the coaches aren't going to quit. We're going to keep working. Players actually played hard against Kansas State. It's hard to believe when the game turned out as bad as it did, but they didn't quit. They didn't give up. We just didn't play well. Anytime you lose 5 turnovers and you gain none, you're going to lose the game. I mean, usually if you lose 3 turnovers, you lose the game, much less 5. And we continue to turn the ball over in games like Iowa State and UCLA and now K-State and don't give ourselves a chance to win. Also, I thought Saturday night, probably more than ever before, field position was a key. Part of that was because of the turnovers, and the other part was the kicking game. The entire team's responsible for that, and the coaches as well. But at K-State, and this is hard to imagine, I felt it during the game, but looking at the video Sunday this morning again, it's hard to imagine, but K-State, their first 5 scoring drives, 4 touchdowns and a field goal, averaged 23 yards, and the first 10 possessions started on the average of the Texas 30-yard line. So we gave ourselves absolutely no chance to win throughout the ball game. For the 3rd consecutive week, we've lost a game in which we owned the advantage of first downs. We had 23 first downs to the Kansas State 11. And again, like last week, our total offense was 214 to 270. But it's obviously not about those 2 issues. Those are stats that are unimportant. The stats that matter are the ones with explosive plays, which we did a little bit better than they did in that area. Field position, where we were horrible, and turnovers, which we were horrible. So 2 of the 3 we were bad, and we gave up too many explosive plays to them, and still didn't get in the end zone like we need to in the red zone. Special teams, we lost all phases of the kicking game, and when you go on the road, you have to run the ball well. We didn't. You have to stop the run. We didn't. You have to win the kicking game. We didn't. And you have to win the turnover battle, and we didn't. So we didn't do the basic fundamental things that you have to have a chance to win, much less put yourself in a position in the 4th quarter to win. We kick off to the #1 kickoff team in the country, and they run it back 63 yards. 2 plays later, the guy that we've said all week is the guy we have to stop, runs off tackle and scores a touchdown in 2 plays. The offense has a good drive. They get it down to the 30-yard line. We got a 4th and 1. We fake a field goal, snaps high, goes right over Justin's hands. He really did a great job of getting back and falling on it, or they could have picked it up and run it back for a touchdown. So we didn't score in the kicking game. We didn't gain field position in the kicking game, and we didn't force a turnover in the kicking game. I did think the one bright spot is at least Adrian Phillips did manage punts throughout the night and didn't hurt us in that area, and we did block 1 punt. Obviously, we had a penalty on another one that led to a score. Defense, we didn't start the game right. As I said, the player we wanted to stop throughout the night goes off tackle, 2nd play of the game, and goes untouched for a touchdown. We gave up too many big plays again. We gave up a 34-yard run, a 17-yard run, a 22-yard run, a 20-yard run, and a 19-yard run. And that's with them being one-dimensional and knowing they were going to run the football. So we didn't stop the big play, and we still didn't force a turnover. Keenan Robinson did force the one fumble, and we did not get on it. We did have 5 3-and-outs. We did have 2 sacks. We held Kansas State on third downs, 2 out of 12. But they were successful 4 out of 5 times in the red zone. Played much better the second half than we did the first half. I don't know why we didn't start the game well. Offensively, you have 5 turnovers, you give your team no chance to win. And 3 of those turnovers were down in your own red zone area, and then you go back and throw an interception in your end zone that cost you points right before the half. I actually thought as poorly as we'd played the first half, if we'd scored the touchdown right before the half, it's 24-7. We get the ball to start the second half, and we've actually got a chance to get back in the ball game. And then we throw the interception going in, and then we come back out and start the third quarter with a turnover. That's totally unacceptable, and we're sitting here right now, minus 12 in turnovers. The teams that win the national championship will probably be in the plus 20s. I remember when Florida and Oklahoma played, it was 22 and 23. I'm not sure what we were last year, but we're not going to win games till we quit turning the ball over, start stopping the big play, and start doing a better job in the kicking game. We did get to play a lot of the young guys, as I said. I am proud of the kids that they didn't quit. Most teams would have with the adversity they've been under and the pressure they've been under. As many bad things as happened Saturday night. You see pro teams quitting. You see college teams quitting. The guys did try. And we watched every play very closely to make sure they tried. And we talked to them in the dressing room after the game and said the one thing that you do if you lay around and quit now, it'll be something that you give in to, you'll do it the rest of your life. And what you do is you become a loser if you quit. You can lose football games and try to figure out how to straighten them out. But it's a part of your life that you don't want to have as a coach or as a player. Shockey Brown broke his arm. Hate for him. He's had a great career at Texas, and he's out for the year. And a tough way for him to end his senior year. Kyle Hicks played the first half and then had a head injury. Trey Newton played 8 plays, and he had a head injury, so they were taken out of the game. When that happens, the doctors now take them out. They do give them a battery of tests and will not let them go back in if they feel like that there's any chance that it might further damage them. If you've got any questions about the process, you could get with John, and he will get you with Kenny Boyd. I don't know the tests that they do, but I do know all they do is tell us Coach Trey's out for the game. In fact, I didn't know Shockey had broken his arm until after the game. They don't tell us that during the game because they feel like it's very upsetting to players on the sideline, obviously coaches, and they want to talk to their parents before they give that information out. And I think that as well. But Kyle and Trey will be monitored during the week and see what their status will be for the weekend. Aaron Williams has been cleared to come back, and Jackson Jeffcoat's got one of those ankles that just doesn't seem to get well. He didn't practice but very little last week, and in pregame again he couldn't push off. So I took him off the depth chart this week, and hopefully at some point here down the road he can get it well and help us at the end of the season. Mike Gundy's done a tremendous job with this team. It's really interesting that they were not supposed to be a good team this year. They were last year, and it got their injuries and kind of fell apart at the end of the season last year, and this year they've come back and they've done so well. Dana Holgerson came in as offensive coordinator, and they got 725 yards offense against Baylor last weekend. They're unbelievable with what they're doing. They've scored 65, 41, 65, 38, 54, 34, 41 in losing to Nebraska, 24 and 55 points. So they're third in the country in offense, but they're averaging 46 points a game, nearly 200 yards rushing, most of it Kendall Hunter. He's been unbelievable. He's averaging 6.1 yard per run. They're averaging 353 yards passing and about 450 yards total, or 550 yards total offense. So it's been unbelievable. What Dana's done is taken what they did at Texas Tech. He's cut the splits. He's running the ball better. They're more balanced. They've got an older quarterback in Whedon that played pro baseball. And Justin Blackman is every bit as good as the great one out there at Texas Tech that they had. So he is just an amazing player. So those guys are playing as well as anybody in the country. Their defense has got 6 seniors. They're about 29% blitz. Bill Young has done a tremendous job with their defense. He's another guy they brought in a couple of years ago, and when you're playing with as much confidence as they are right now, it's fun to watch them. They're getting after it, and they're making all the plays, and it's something that I know they've been waiting on. It's a great team for them. So it'll be a real challenge for us. We're not scoring points. We're turning the ball over. We're not playing with a lot of confidence, which is something I feel really bad about, because that's my job to make sure that we have a confident team and a confident staff, and right now we're not doing that. Questions?
Coach, the inability to run the ball reared its ugly head again. Is there any way to get that thing fixed? I know you want to fix things more than anybody in this room. Can that be fixed in a week or 2 weeks or what?
Well, it can't be totally fixed, but when you get behind so fast like we did, Ed, on Saturday night, and you've got to catch up, and you're not stopping them, your kicking game's not working. I thought that, again, we got away from the run, but we're having to score, and that puts a tremendous amount of pressure on Garrett, and Garrett's feeling like he has to score on every play, so he's got to throw it deep. So I think everybody just felt like we had to catch up fast, and the thing that people need to understand, everybody wants to fix it. I mean, the coaches aren't fighting, but they want to fix it. They don't feel good about this, and the players want it fixed. Everybody wants to fix it. So obviously we needed to be balanced in that game to win. When we were balanced against Baylor, if we just scored touchdowns instead of kick field goals, we could have won, and we didn't turn the ball over. But when you turn it over and you're not stopping them, and you're giving up plays in the kicking game, your offense gets out of the thing that we need to be doing right now, and that's be balanced, and you get out of it too quickly, and it's forced turnovers in games like UCLA, Iowa State, and Kansas State. I thought they were all about alike, except this time we tried hard. The other two, I didn't think we tried as hard.
Is the confidence thing something where you need something good to happen to get confidence, but sometimes you need confidence to get something good?
I think it's chicken and egg, without a doubt, and they practiced really well last week. It's funny, we dropped 6 balls last week and dropped 3 this week, so that's a positive and a negative. Still dropping too many balls, but I thought the receivers did play a little bit better. Mike Davis stepped up. The offensive line, there were 3 freshmen out there the whole second half, and I thought they fought and tried to hang in there, and after Kyle got hurt. But it's you just got to start getting your attitude in a position where you're not worried about negative things happening. 2 of the interceptions are tip balls. One of them, I thought a receiver should have knocked the ball down, fighting for it, and he kind of stopped, and they intercept the ball. So there's obviously things we can do, but it is a problem that when things are bad, and when things are bad, everybody's bad. Everybody's down. Everybody's after them, and then they have to hear all that stuff during the week. So they got to be strong enough to step up. Coaches have to stay positive with them, and it's really strange that when everybody's down on them and coaches coach them really hard and get down on them, they just go in the hole. So right now, as coaches, we have to be more positive than we would be. Have to be strong, we have to be demanding, but you got to be upbeat with 18 to 20-year-olds that don't have many things positive in their life right now on the field, and that's the only way to get it turned around. That's what we've got to keep doing.
What happened to Garrett at all? Maybe he's just gotten too down. I mean, it seems like to us he's not playing like, he did in high school, like to his potential.
Right, I thought last week he played great. So we've got some inconsistency, and I thought this one, Greg will talk to you more. He's talked to him more than I have about it in a minute, but I thought that when he gets pressing and he feels like it's all on him to go win every game and go win the game with every play, and then you get off your read sometime, throw deep balls when maybe you should have run it, or because he's running the ball really well. So there's a lot of great things he's doing. We just can't turn the ball over.
Have some of the things that have happened here previously with quarterbacks impacted the way you're handling, potentially replacing him on Saturday night and sticking with him?
Yes, we talked about putting Case in with 6 minutes left. I think, Jeff, I don't remember what it was, 6:30 or something like that, and Case was cold and he wasn't loose, and it was a 3 and out. So we said, let's don't put him in until he gets warm. We sure don't want him to go out there standing here all game. He hadn't played hardly all year, and him not do well. And then he got loose, and I think Greg felt like that Garrett was having a good drive. He was having some positive things happen, and he felt like he needed to leave him in there just so he could finish right.
And before then, it wasn't something that you considered after the 5th interception?
During the game?
Yeah.
Yes. No, we talked about it. And I think, again, the best chance to win here at the end is Garrett. And we're still trying to win games. Everybody else wants to move on to next year. We're not. We're trying to beat Oklahoma State. That's what we'll work on hard this week to do. Got to send a real clear message to your team that you're not quitting and you're not giving up when a lot of people want you to, and we're not going to. We're going to fight our guts out for 2.5 weeks, and that's what we're going to do. Still trying to win those 8 games.
Mack, you love to draw on past experiences. I think it was back in '95. You were in a kind of a similar situation. Won the last 2 games, got to a bowl game, and then transformed that into a couple of great years.
Yes, we sometimes you take your darkest times and they can help you fix some things that end up appreciating winning more. I shouldn't have griped at them for beating Rice. That's for sure. I'm never going to gripe about a good win anymore that we think we didn't play great. I've gotten over that. And I think it obviously makes everybody want to tighten up every little thing that we've got to get back to where we have. It's been fun for 12 years, and we've had a lot of great moments, and we've lost those right now. So you got to fight your guts out to get them back, and that's what we'll do. I've been here before. These players have not. Most coaches that have coached as long as ours have been. I mean, you don't want to do that, but not everybody's gone 12 straight years to a bowl and not had a bad year. I mean, that doesn't happen very often.
So I was going to say, the way you've been through everything in your career, from 1 and 10 to national championships, do you have to go back and try to remember, oh, how did I coach that year, and what did I do to inspire them when we're having those losing times?
Yes, I even go back to some of the players from the times where we've had struggles and say, what turned it for you? What was good for you? What did I do that didn't help you? And so we're reaching to every possible area we can to try to find a way to get some things fixed here. It's I feel like the analogy, it's like a plane that's got oil leaking, and you got to fix the oil. You got to get it stopped. You just got to stop it and start over. And like Roger said, it's hard with the negatives that are out there and places that don't have fan support and don't have much media. It isn't an issue. Guys can get things fixed. Here, you're under the microscope, good and bad. And I've told the guys, you've handled winning with class, you got to handle losing with class, and you got to stop it, and you got to fix it. And also, the teams see you struggling, and they play better. They're playing with confidence because they say, boy, if we can get old Texas struggling a little bit here, they're going to lose their confidence, and you're going to get after them. And that happened on Saturday night, and it's obvious that we talked to the guys about it, but we can't let that happen. You cannot get your head down in sports, or you'll get trampled. It's kind of a microcosm of life. If you get down in your life, and if your ratings stink, you got to get them fixed. You got to get them fixed. I mean, that's what you do. You can lay there and pout, and they fire you. May fire you if you're doing a good job, but still, you got to get them fixed. So my life's no different than yours. Mine's just more public.
Coach, you mentioned the word passion a few weeks ago, that you didn't want to coach a team that didn't play with passion. You're obviously not seeing consistent football. Are you seeing consistent passion?
Yeah, I did, Chad. On Saturday night, I was really worried about it. And I challenged them at halftime. Now I was hard on them, and I thought they tried as hard, played a much better second half than they did the first half. They came out and started poorly, and again, you're talking about getting your head down. They could have just laid down and packed it in and gone home, and those guys on the sideline were pulling each other up, and I'd see them every time somebody would get down or a play happened that was bad. I'd look at all of them and say, you better get your head up now. And people say I'm too positive sometime. Well, I'm going to be positive. I'm going to be tough, but I'm going to be positive, and I'm going to keep these guys playing. We are not going to lay down and quit. We may not win the game at Kansas State, and it's a shame that we played as poorly as we did, but they are going to play hard. That's one thing we can do, confident or not confident.
Chris, do you feel like that's just a domino effect of this team? When you start out, they return the kickoff, then they score, then the offense feels the pressure. I mean, does it just seem like it's just one thing?
I think it's a domino effect with teams that aren't playing well. They get down too easily, and they got to overcome it. They got to fight back, and that's something we got to do, and that's where it's important for me. In this ball game coming up, they have a great team. They got maybe the best offense in the country coming in here with mostly Texas players against a team that's struggling. We're not going to lay down. We're going to plan on winning. We're going to fight our guts out. We're going to play 60 minutes. We can do things fundamentally sound to help us. We can turn the ball over less. We can run the ball better. We can knock some balls loose, and we can kick the ball better. Those are things we can do that we know we can do. Oklahoma State's a great team, and they're going to do what they do. We know here's some fundamentally sound things that we did at Nebraska that we can do. And I've told them this is still the team that won at Nebraska, so you can play better. We just got to do it.
Okay, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you.